you ever hear voices in the wind? Or voices behind unopened doors? Closing your eyes might help, but for others, this is the After Dark Podcast. Welcome back, guys, to Season 2, Episode 2 of the After Dark Podcast. First and foremost, I got my tea ready. It's hot. And we're all good. Now, as you guys can see in the background, hold up, give me 1 second. 1 second. As you guys can see in the background, we do have a new background, and it is because I'm managing to live stream on what do you call it, on Streamlabs OBS. I am losing my words right now as we speak, but we are in a new live stream, so we're gonna ditch the old program and we are going to be living under the care of ye old Streamlabs OBS. So that's that. Second, like I said, I have my tea ready. It's hot, and you know that's the way tea is meant to be, unless you guys like cold tea. But me, I prefer tea to be cold, hot. But I like cold tea for every now and again. But that's only if I buy the tea, like when it's supposed to be cold. So I like it. Anyways, I'm getting off track, and where are my manners? Hopefully you guys are having a really good evening tonight. Now, let me see. I do want to know. Yes. Okay, so, oh man, look at this. We actually got the we actually got everything ready pretty much. So we got the okay, I don't know what to say. I am going bananas right now, right? I'm going bananas, but it is exciting to be in episode 2 of the After Dark Podcast, season 2 as well, or episode 17, however you like. So anyway, so hopefully you guys are having a really good day. Hopefully you guys are having a really good evening tonight. Today's Wednesday after all, and we're chipper. We are very, very chipper. Now, I do like the setup that we have, because not only that, but you guys, I will be able to see your comments right in front of me as well. So let's see, let's type something right now. Let me see if it pops up and yield let me see. Hold up. There we go. Season number 2. Boom. I don't know if it's popping out or not. I don't know. Maybe? OBS is kind of like late. But we'll let it do its thing. Anyways, I do want to apologize for yesterday. Yesterday's podcast seemed to end abruptly due to the fact that my old, server thing decided to kick me in the butt. And just look, it did pop up. It did pop up. But yeah, and end the live stream without me recommending a movie for yesterday. So we will skip yesterday and we will focus on today. So here we go. Yesterday we were telling the story of the drum. It's pretty much it came out. So we're gonna start from the beginning, because I don't like starting stories from where I left off. So reading off from the website scaryforkids.com, it says, "The Drum is a spooky story for kids about 2 young girls who are promised a reward if they behave badly. The story is based on an old folk tale called The Pier Drum. A version of this story appears in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark under the title The Drum, and another version was written by Lucy Clifford called The New Mother." Now, Both of them are very, very, very scary. Yeah, so like I keep telling you guys, folklore, urban legends, scary stories, horror stories, wherever you may hear it, there's always some truth to it. So the story begins like this. Once upon a time, there were two little girls. Their names were Blue Eyes and Turkey. Blue Eyes was named after the color of her eyes, and Turkey was named after her red dress she wore. They lived in a little house on the moor with their mother and their baby brother, Arthur. Their father was a sailor, and he was always away to sea, traveling to faraway lands. One day, Blue Eyes and Turkey went for a walk upon the moor when they met a gypsy girl playing on a little drum. As she played, a little mechanical man and woman came out of the drum and danced. Blue Eyes and Turkey were enchanted. They had never seen such an amazing toy, and they begged the gypsy girl to give them the drum. The girl just laughed. "I'll give it to you," she said, "but only if you are very naughty. Come back tomorrow and tell me how naughty you were. Then we shall see." As soon as Blue Eyes and Turkey got home, they began to behave as badly as they could. They started shouting, they spilled their food on the floor, they drew all over the walls with their crayons, and refused to go to bed. The two sisters did everything they could, and everything they thought of, to upset their mother. The next day, they got up early and hurried out onto the moor. There, they found the gypsy girl playing in her drum. "We were very naughty yesterday," they cried. "Can we please have the drum now? Tell me, what did you do? The gypsy girl replied. So they told her. The gypsy girl just laughed. "No, oh no," she said. "You were only a little bit naughty. You're going to have to be far worse than that if you want this drum." As soon as the sisters got home that day, they were as naughty as they could be. They threw their cups on the floor, they tore their clothes, they walked into the mud up to their knees, and pulled up all the flowers from the garden. They also let the pig out of the pen and let it run away. The mother was even more horrified by their behavior. "If you don't stop this," the mother said, I will go away and take Arthur with me, and you will get a new mother. One with glass eyes and a wooden tail." That scared Blue Eyes and Turkey. They loved their mother and they loved their baby brother Arthur. They could not imagine being without them, and the thought of them made them cry. "No, I don't want you to leave. I don't want to leave," the mother said. "But unless you change your behavior, I will have to go away." "We'll be good," the girls promised. Yet they did not believe that their mother would go away. "Yes, she's just trying to scare us," Blue Eyes said later. "We'll get the drum tomorrow," said Turkey. "Then we can go back to being good again." The next day, the sisters got up very early and rushed off to meet the gypsy girl. When they found her, she was playing with the drum again, and the little mechanical man and woman were dancing back and forth. They told the gypsy girl how naughty they were the day before. "That must be bad enough to get the drum," they said. "Oh no," replied the gypsy girl with a smile. "You will have to do much worse than that." "But we promised our mother we would be at our best behavior from now on," said the sisters. "If you really want the drum," said the gypsy girl, "you must be much naughtier. It's only for one more day," Blue Eyes told Turkey. "Then they will have the drum." "I hope you're right," Turkey said nervously. Again, she told them that they had not been naughty enough. "You must be really bad," she said. As soon as they got home that evening, the two young girls set about being as naughty as possible. This time, they broke the kitchen table and chairs. They smashed all the fine china and ripped their clothes to shreds. As if that wasn't enough, the girls whipped the dog unmercifully. They beat their baby brother with a stick and they punched their mother in the face. The mother began to cry. Blue Eyes and Turkey, she sobbed. You're not keeping your promise. If you don't stop being so naughty, I will have to go away. And instead, you will have a new mother with glass eyes and a wooden tail to live with you. We will be good, said Blue Eyes. We promise, said Turkey. I hope so, said the mother. I can't wait much longer. Please try to behave yourselves. However, the two girls still had their hearts set on the amazing drum, and when they were alone, they said to each other, tomorrow will be good. Once we have the drum, we will be good again. Early that morning, before their mother was awake, Blue Eyes and Turkey ran off to the moor. There, they found the gypsy girl. They told her all about the bad things they had done the day before. We were horrid, said Turkey. We were worse than we had ever been, said Blue Eyes. You have to give us the drum now. That was when they noticed that the gypsy girl wasn't playing with the drum. In fact, it was nowhere to be seen. Where's the drum? Said the sister. The sisters cried. The gypsy girl just laughed. It's gone. We gypsies are all going away today. I am the last to leave. But we did as you told us, cried Blue Eyes and Turkey. The gypsy girl laughed again. Yes, I know, she said. You have been really naughty, and now your mother has gone away, far, far away. And instead, you have a mother with glass eyes and a wooden tail. Blue Eyes and Turkey began to cry. They rushed home as quickly as they could, but their mother and Arthur were gone. Maybe they're out shopping, said Blue Eyes hopefully. Yeah, they'll be back soon. I'm sure of it, said Turkey, trying to reassure herself. But when lunchtime came and went, and they were still not back, Blue Eyes and Turkey began to feel lonely and scared. They wandered about the moor all day, but when evening came, they went back home. The lights in the house were off, but when they peered through the window, they could see their new mother with glass eyes glistening in the glow of the firelight, and they could hear the wooden tail thumping on the floor. That was a good story. I really enjoy this one because nowadays when I see kids around all over the place misbehaving just because they want a toy or something off the store, you know, the mothers and parents pretty much, they're both at fault because they give them what they want, right? Back then it wasn't that easy. Misbehaving could mean a lot of things. Not only you getting punished physically, but you were not meant, it just meant not like for you not to be doing a lot of things pretty much. So misbehaving back then was a serious offense to one's family, but now it's just that. So much for that. Yesterday we were talking about some old Mexican legends, Mexican and Latin American legends, and one of them was said to be the boogeyman, but in Spanish it was called el hombre del saco, which pretty much is the boogeyman if you're really thinking about it, because this man or being would only come after naughty kids, whether they can't fall asleep at night or choose not to, or misbehave like Blue Eyes and Turkey. But, you know, like I said, everything nowadays is just a game for kids. So, going back to the subject of horror stories from Latin America, Mexico, and all those stuff, Argentina, Cuba, Brazil, all them stuff, Colombia. We go to a new website called palmbeachpost.com. And this article is called Halloween Horror Stories, 7 Terrifying Legends from Latin America. It was published on October 24, 2017 by Carla Trivino, Mundo Hispánico, Palm Beach. So, thank you, Carla, for uploading this very, very nice legend list. So, the header says, not many people celebrate Halloween in Latin America, but they have plenty of terrifying legends to keep you awake year-round. I remember being terrified of La Llorona and El Hombre de la Bolsa as a child. These are the stories our families would tell us growing up, so we would behave. Now, before we go on to these stories, I did read through them, and some of them we did read them yesterday, but I wouldn't mind going back to them. Just because yesterday episode 1 was a little choppy, the program decided to derp out on us and decided to end the podcast really quick. But today we are going to be reviewing all of them, and we will get into more detail by searching ourselves onto the legend itself. Now, one more thing, I do apologize if you do hear noises in the background. One, I live in an apartment, and the street that I live in is not notoriously busy, but it's it can get loud because people tend to take that street as a drag strip, and I am one for racing, but hey, to each his own, right? Or should I say la vie. 1, 2. My mom, she's making cake, and who doesn't like cake? Who doesn't like home cooking cake, right? So you will hear something that sounds like chainsaws, but no screams. Believe me, she's just making cake, nothing else. Or is she? Hey, the world may never know. So, with that being said, once again, I do apologize for the noise in the background, and we will continue with this list. But first, let me take a sip of this is the last sips of my tea. It's getting cold. You guys know I don't really like cold tea when it's meant to be hot. Some good tea. Where is my water now? Give me 1 second. Okay, so the first legend of Latin America is called La Ciguapa from Dominican Republic. Lurking in the mountains and deep forests of the island are women with long hair and backwards feet. They said to lure men with magic and hypnotism to make them disappear. Some say they kill and eat their victims. Many rural areas in the country believe them to be real. And there is a tweet here by El Tren de la Tarde, and he says, La Ciguapa, la misteriosa criatura mítica femenina, which translates to La Guiapa, La Ciguapa, the mysterious female mythical creature. So, once again, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who are just starting out to hearing my podcast in season 2, I suggest you guys hear season 1 just because, it talks a lot about me. But if you guys haven't, this is a quick synopsis of myself. I am Latino. My origins are unknown, okay? Due to the fact that half of my parents died. Oh, snap. And, all I know is that I'm half Mexican. The other half is still up in the wind, God knows where. And I do enjoy reading some legends from my country, Mexico. And not only that, for example, we did read urban legends from all around the United States, and let me tell you, they're fascinating. We went all around the world in season 1, all around the United States in season 1, and it was amazing. Because if I could do it again and find 50 more urban legends, 52 or 53, I can't remember, because Alaska and Hawaii count. Okay, I will do it again for sure. So let's go with El Silbón. El Silbón from Venezuela. According to the legend, El Silbón murdered his family and devoured his insides. Now he's a lost soul who carries a bag filled with his father's bones. His name comes from his terrifying whistle while approaching his victim. If you hear his whistle, it's too late. Nice Twitter thing here from Leyendas at que_leyendas over here on Twitter, and it says El Silbón. Now, like I said, we are going to be Googling these things, right? So let's see what is going. Oh, so he is depicted as a very thin man wearing a hat, more like a farmer type of person. But let's read more about it. El Silbón is a legendary figure in Colombia and Venezuela, associated specifically with Los Llanos, described as the lost souls. The legend arose sometime in the middle of the 19th century. According to the legend, the spirit is a youth who murdered and disemboweled his father for killing his wife, saying that she was a slut, and that she was asking for it. Afterwards, his grandfather ordered the youth to be tied to a post in the middle of the countryside and lashed him until his back was destroyed. His wounds were then cleaned with alcohol, and he was released with 2 rabid, starving dogs set upon him. Before releasing him, his grandfather condemned him to carry the bones of his father for all eternity. It has a characteristic whistle that resembles the musical notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B in that order, rising from tone to F, then lowering to B. It is said that when the whistle sounds close, there's no danger, and the whistler is far away. But when the whistling sounds distant, it means it's near. It is also said that hearing the whistle foretells your own death, and you can hear it anywhere at any time. In this situation, the only thing that can save you is the sound of a dog barking. As it is said, the only thing is afraid of a chili or a whip. The spirit tends to take revenge on womanizers. Oof. So there it is, pretty much. So if you hear the whistles close, it means that you're safe, and if it's far away, you're doomed. So pretty much, people, if you are a womanizer, stop before the whistler gets you, and I'm forced to read about you. So we pretty much know the legend of the whistler, right? But under here it says some versions say that it appears as a giant about 6 meters that moves about the treetops, creaking and emitting its chilling whistle. Inside its old and tattered sack lie the bones of his father, or according to some renditions, its multiple victims. Other versions say that he appears as a shadow of a tall, thin man with a hat, and goes after drunkards most of all. They say the whistler can appear by a house on certain nights, drop his sack in the ground, and count the bones one by one. If anybody hears it, nothing will happen. But if no one hears it before dawn, one member of the family will never wake up again. Oof. That is very gruesome. Very, very gruesome. But, you know, it is what it is. We forgot to look for the other one too. La Ciguapa. There it is. Okay, so La Ciguapa, a long-haired woman with her feet backwards. It's interesting. Ciguapa. Let's read up about it. A Ciguapa is a mythical creature of Dominican and Puerto Rican folklore. They are commonly described as having human female forms with brown or dark blue skin. backwards facing feet, and very long manes of smooth, glossy hair that covers their otherwise naked body. They supposedly inhabit the high mountains of the Dominican Republic. So there it is. Dominican Republic, huh? Okay, the lore states that the only way to capture a ciguapa is by tracking them at night during a full moon with a black and white polydactylic dog called cinqueño dog. What the hell is this? Okay, so polydactylism, also known as hyperdactylism, okay, is a congenital physical anomaly in humans and animals resulting in supernumerary fingers and or toes. Polydactyly, I don't know. Okay, look, is the opposite of fewer fingers. Okay, so pretty much you have to have more than 5 fingers in your hands to be able to capture a ciguapa. Wow, that is very interesting. But yes, you know, a little also known fact about me, I am a nurse, and let me tell you, the only thing I hate about this whole career that I have under my belt is the terminology. The terminology of everything is dude, they could not have picked better words for their names, man. Oh my god. Let's move on, and we move forward to El Cucuy, which all Latin American people know. So, also known as El Cuco or El Hombre del Saco. He lives in the darkest corners of your room, under your bed, and in the closet, and is your mother's best ally. That's because when children misbehave, if they're threatened with El Cucuy, they become little angels instantly. He's our version of the boogeyman. Same thing with the story that we first read about the drum. You know, you pretty much misbehave, and all of a sudden, the boogeyman comes get you. So kids, do not misbehave. If you have kids of you know, of your own, tell them the story about the glass eye woman with the wooden tail, or you know, tap into the Latin American folklore and warn them about El Cucuy. They will get it. We move on to El Chupacabra. Oh, dude, the goat sucker. And it's not only in Puerto Rico, because it is said to be seen even here in ye old United States. So, known for draining the life out of livestock, his name translates to the goat sucker. With the most recent sightings reported in 1995, people have reported seeing El Chupacabra all over the Western Hemisphere and have described the creature as a dog-like reptilian. Some have blamed the goat's death to other predators and satanic cults, but who really knows? We talked about El Chupacabras many a time before, but we will talk about the dude right now. So if you Google El Chupacabras, you will be met with a bunch of pictures that you may not know which ones are real and which ones aren't. Now, the most recent sighting of this being, you know, it's not in 1995, but more recently than you know. I believe it was in this year. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'll find it. I'll find the article right now. Oh yeah, boys. Do keep your pets safe, because they will come after your pets. It's not known that these creatures attack humans, but they do attack some cattle. So do have in mind that cattle and pets, they're all in danger of this being. So let's read about him, right? So El Chupacabra, or the goat sucker, is a legendary creature in the folklore of parts of the Americas, with his first purported sighting reported in Puerto Rico. The name comes from the animal's reported habit of attacking and drinking the blood of livestock, including goats. Physical description of the creature vary, but it is purportedly a heavy creature, the size of a small bear, with a row of spines reaching from the neck to the base of his tail. Eyewitness sighting has been claimed in Puerto Rico and has been seen reported as far north as Maine and as far south as Chile, and even being spotted outside the Americas in countries like Russia and the Philippines. But many of the reports have been disregarded as uncorroborated or lacking evidence. Sightings in northern Mexico, and the southern United States have been verified as canids afflicted by mange. Afflicted by mange. According to biologists, the wildlife management officials, the chupacabra is an urban legend. Now, those officials can go and suck it, okay? Because this fool is true, no doubt about it. There are even video footage of the livestock being drained. No, not being drained, but like dead, with their blood out and nothing more. Just a big old gaping hole. So the officials can go and, go buy a turret or something. I don't know. Anyways, we move on to La Llorona, which is called the Wailing Woman in English. Latin America, all over Latin America. Probably the most well-known legend, La Llorona is known for killing her children in order to be with a man she loved who ended up leaving her. She committed suicide, and now her spirit roams the earth searching for the children to take. Now, this urban legend, like I said before, varies from person to person. Like whoever you ask about La Llorona, they will tell you a different story. But it all comes down to one thing: if you hear her cries in the dead of night, run, run away from the river. Get away from the river as fast as you can. Because let me tell ya, another known fact about myself: when I was around like 18, 17 years old, I used to play video games all the way up until like 3, 4 in the morning. And I remember this because it was a time when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was popular, right? So me and one of my friends would stay up all night trying to do challenges from, I forgot what the game mode was called, but we ended up sleeping around 3, 4 a.m. So what happened was, it was like 3:40 or 3:30 or something along those lines, and I was getting tired. So I'm like, you know what? That's it, man. I'm gonna go to bed. So we set our pieces and we set off to bed, right? But right before I was starting to doze off, I heard a scream. Now, when you hear a human scream, you know it's a human scream because you could actually tell. You could tell a human screaming by the way they sound. This thing wasn't human. This cry wasn't human at all. I wanted to jump out of my skin the second I heard that scream. Oh my God, it was terrifying. One thing is for sure, I hope you guys never hear this awful scream in your life. But other legends say that she does wander around any lake in the world. So, like I said, if you live near a river, run. Another urban legend is called El Sombrero. in Guatemala. El sombrero pretty much means the sombrero. So, a short creature dressed in all black with a big hat and boots, who's obsessed with braiding hair. He likes to haunt women and serenade them, okay, with his silver guitar until he can finally braid their hair, causing them to stop eating and sleeping until they die. Okay. So we'll go to Google. And we will see what this person thing is. So yeah, so this person or this being is famous for braiding the hair of any women he all of a sudden takes a liking to. And if you happen to have long hair, you know, please be careful around this person. So you don't want nothing bad to happen. So yes, el sombrero. Oh, this one's in Spanish, and you know what? I will read it. I will read it in Spanish. And this article is from aprende.guatemala.com. Oh, it's my first time reading in Spanish out loud. I'm nervous. So here we go. La leyenda. Según las leyendas de Guatemala, el sombrerón es un hombre de muy poca estatura que siempre visita de negro. Utiliza un cincho grueso y brillante y un par de botas que dejan un ruido estruendoso a su paso. En la cabeza lleva un sombrero de grandes proporciones, al cual esconde su mirada y sus intenciones, y al hombro una guitarra. Se afirma en la tradición oral que el sombrerón recorre las calles y los barrios de Guatemala acompañado de 4 mulas. Su propósito es enamorar a jóvenes mujeres, especialmente a las de ojos grandes y cabello largo. Las enamora y atrae interpretando canciones con su dulce voz y los mejores acordes de su guitarra. Se dice que se concentra su hechizo al amarrar las 4 mulas frente a la casa de la joven de la cual se ha enamorado. Las jóvenes, al notar la presencia del sombrerón, quedan embrujadas y hipnotizadas por él, quien luego las persigue. Les trenza el cabello, no las deja comer ni dormir. Al final, para quienes caen en el hechizo del sombrerón, es la muerte. Wow. So that was all in Spanish. Oh boy. So it pretty much tells the tale of a man with 4 donkeys. I believe that's how you say in Spanish, in English. And he has a big hat, of course, with the guitar. And apparently his voice is very, very beautiful, like your boy, like your boy's voice. And he serenades them. He pretty much, you know, stays in like the window. So he parks his 4 donkeys outside, whips out his guitar and just starts shredding. You know, probably singing one of the Aerosmith songs. Which one's called Dream On or something, I don't know. But anyways, he then, like, you know, hypnotizes the woman or the girl with long hair and big old eyes. And what happens after is that he, you know, braids their hair, and finally they become dead because they can't sleep or eat for a long time. Wow. So we continue with La Luz Mala from Argentina. A myth typically believed to be true in the country, or campo, and among guachos. It's a fluorescent light thought to be the lost souls of people who have passed away. Yet, it's considered a bad omen, and bad things can happen if you approach it. We have a nice little Twitter post there. So, we'll go to Google right now. And then here, so Luz Mala pretty much, you know, it looks like Foxfire, I believe. That's what they're called. I'm not reading Spanish again. Reading Spanish for me, it's kind of hard. You know, I know Spanish, but that thing is hard, dude. It's hard to read in Spanish, especially out loud. Okay. All the wiki is all the wiki pages are just in Spanish that I hear. Okay, so this one says this myth, La Luz Mala, the bad light. This myth is said to be seen near the countryside. It is called many different names, but they all basically mean that the light is bad. It is said that the light hovers and is made out of toxic gases and decomposed bones, which is it's pretty much fatal to humans. In the driest of seasons, it is said that this light is brilliant and coming from the wisps of light. Some men have okay, hold up. This is tiny text. Hold up. Some men who have supposedly followed and survived have only found broken Indian pottery and human remains. It is said that this light makes a noise of screams and pain and terror. People also say that if the light falls at the foot of the hill, there lies treasure, and that only the bravest can find it. Those who believe, go back and look for it. So if you are anywhere near Argentina, or where did they say it was? Yeah, Argentina, and you find yourself a bad light at the foot of a mountain, be brave. Go look for that treasure. And share a little bit with your boy, please. I would appreciate it a lot, very, very much. But yes, those were the scary tales from Latin America. Now there are more, of course, but you know, I do apologize, but you know, it's all very repetitive. I'm in another website called Vivala.com, and it's pretty much the same thing. The Whistler, the guy with the sombrero, La Llorona, Ciguayapas. Oh, this one's new. Oh, voice crack. Hold up. This one is new. Oh. It's called Pelchen. Pelchen? So it says, a basilisk might have lived in Chile. Only true Harry Potter fans will understand. The story of Peuchen comes from the indigenous inhabitants of south central Chile called Mapuche. According to the legend, the shape-shifting creature that is often described as a flying snake paralyzes its victims while staring into their eyes and draining their blood. Peuchen can only be defeated by the medicine women from the region and, of course, Harry Potter. Of course. But, yes, look at this. A big old snake that shape-shifts. Then we have El Cucuy, and it ends there. Unfortunately. Let me see. We'll continue with our search of the most scary stories in Latin America. Here it is again. Let's see. The Whistler, the Wailing Woman, El Tunchi. Huh, this is new. Let's read this one. El Tunchi is the story of an evil spirit that roams the Peruvian rainforest. Legend has it that the spirit was once a man who became lost in the forest, got disoriented, and eventually died. The trouble spirit is said to wander the forest, whistling at anyone who crosses its path. Locals say that those who hear the whistling should take it as a warning and never acknowledge what they hear. If you whistle back, El Tunchi will come for you and kill you in a way so horrible you cannot even imagine. So if you are by the Peruvian forest, don't whistle back if you hear a whistle. Instead, run away. Okay, moving on. Oh my god, I'm yawning like crazy. I'm not even tired, but I am yawning. Here we got the wailing woman, the whistler again. What's this? This one's new. It's called La Casa Matosita. Unless you live in Peru, you don't really have to worry about this one. La Casa Matosita is claimed to be a haunted house in Lima, where rumor has it a man murdered his entire family before killing himself. Another story says that the dinner party guests were given hallucinogens and then massacred each other. Either way, it's super creepy, and people swear that the second floor is the most haunted part. Supposedly, a reporter lost his mind. Lost his mind in there after venturing to the second floor to prove the rumors wrong. Wow. So if you live in Peru, if you live in Peru, tell me. Tell me where is it at, and is it true? Don't go to the second floor. We don't want you to go mad after that. So, and after that, we have El Kukui and the man of the thing. Damn. So apparently, all these are the very much more like famous urban legends, which I don't mind. I don't mind. Here comes El Kukui again. El sombrero. Okay, these are new. Acalica. Country of origin is Bolivia, and similar to Madre Monte, Colombia. As far as the legends and monsters go, the Acalica don't seem too bad. They are said to be fair-tempered creatures that control the weather and are sometimes called weather fairies. They live in underground caves, and they make sure to stay out of people's ways. The rare times they do appear, they look like small, wizened men. Colombia's Madre Monte legend can also control the weather. She protects nature, and those who dare mess with it will get punished. Yara Simon. Huh. Madre Monte. Hold up. Let's look it up. Let's see. Madre Monte. I have never heard of this one. Oh, so it's Mother Nature, pretty much. Yeah. It is. It's like Mother Nature. But these dudes look a little bit creepier than Mother Nature. So, then we got the La Llorona, Luz Mala again, the Duendes. Country of origin, Spain, but if you do live in Latin America, you will know that Duendes are all over the place. Duendes are well known all over Latin America, and each country has its own interpretation of the small gnome or elf-like creature. Even our primos in the Philippines have a version, Duendes, which makes sense considering that the myth originated with our mutual colonizer, Spain, where Duendes became a fundamental component of classic literature and culture. In the 16th century, there was even a law in Spain that said that anyone who moved into a home and later realized that it was infected with duendes was free to abandon it. What? Hold up. What? Hold up. I'm moving into an apartment. I'm moving into a place. I find out that it's infested with fucking duendes, and all of a sudden I lose my deposit? Hell no, dude. I'm calling a priest. Okay. That's BS. Beliefs about the duendes vary from region to region. Some believe that they are the souls of infants who died before they could be baptized. Others simply portray them as a malevolent, naughty spirit that hide in a person's home and wreak havoc. But most parents begin using them as a tactic to scare their kids into doing their bidding. Hence the stories your parents terrorized you with about how duendes were coming to kidnap you and eat you if you didn't clean your room. Clean your toenails, or stay out too late, etc. Andrea Gump. Hold up. You don't clean your toenails? That's gross, dude. Come on. But it is true the duendes are malevolent creatures that can do harm. Next one is el chupacabras, but we already read about them, and the other one is called el culebron or biboron. I think it's the same one, right? A culebron is basically an anaconda in super steroids. Jesus. An enormous, hairy snake with a giant cat-like face. Okay, it's even creepy. The creature belongs to the rural countryside of Chile, where it is said that to come out at night from dark caves or remote forests and eat basically anything in its path. El culebron also has a tesoro radar, and it is said to arrive at the site of buried treasure 40 days after it's been buried. Anyone wishing to recover the treasure has to douse the ground with aguardiente in the hopes that the snake will get turned off the liquor and let its guard off. So pretty much what it's saying, that if you are looking for the treasure by Chile, bring alcohol. Bring very strong alcohol and hope to God he gets drunk. In the same way that El Culebron is attracted to riches, legend has it that the snake can draw wealth to anybody who is able to domesticate it. But trapping a culebron is no easy feat. You have to find one in the wild, pluck 3 of the longest hairs without getting eaten, then put the hairs in a bowl of milk. Let me see, where am I got sidetracked. Let me see, tapping, defeat. Okay, so you have to put the hairs in a bowl of milk. From that bowl, 3 baby culebrones will spring to life, and the strongest will eat each, like, they will eat each other, and the strongest will survive, pretty much, becoming a full-fledged culebron. From that point forward, owners have to maintain the snake with sacrifices of animals or close relatives. The hell? Hold up. And leave the blood in a secret location that only the snake knows of. Otherwise, no money for you, and you will probably get eaten. I don't know. Sounds like a lot of work to me. Guessing this is probably how Trump made his money. Hold up. You did not hear from me. Oh my God. Dang, son. Let me drink a little bit of water. It is getting kind of, toasty. By the way, you guys didn't hear the last part from me, but I want to take this opportunity to tell you guys, if you guys are listening to my podcast in the car, I do hope that the car is off or either parked. I know I said this a lot of times in season 1, but I cannot stress enough by saying it. Please don't play with your phones while driving. Pay attention to the road. Put me on speaker. Throw the phone on the passenger seat if nobody's there. Plug me in the aux cord and listen to my beautiful narrating on the 4 corners of your car. But please, don't mess around with your phone while driving. Jesus Christ! Today I was coming from like paying my bills, right? And all of a sudden, this fool almost ran me over, and he was actually like part of the store that I went in, right? So, cause he had like a big old logo in the back and shit. But I saw him like digging in his face on his phone. Like, come on, man, don't do that. Put the phone away. Nothing is more important than saving your lives and the lives of others, especially mine. So please, very please, put the cherry on top and the culebron at the bottom, and all these little urban legends all around it. Do not play with your phone. Next one we have, it's weird. Peuchen, and the country of origin is Chile. The Peuchen comes from the indigenous lore of southern Chile's Mapuche people. It is a snake. It's a shape-shifting, vampire-esque creature, most frequently described as a flying snake. Occasionally, descriptions add that it's covered in either feathers or hairs, making it similar to El Culebron, or really just a big-ass bat. Much like vampires, Peuchens can paralyze their victims by gazing in their eyes in order to drain their blood, to drain their body of the blood. The only people who can defeat the Peuchen are Machi, Mapuche medicine women. Hey, listen. I don't know where I heard it, but look. Women in folklore are amazing because they know their stuff. Man. A witch doctor, I think they were called. What are they called? Machi medicine. Let's Google that. Machi. Right? Ah, here they are. Machi is a traditional healer and religious leader in the Mapuche culture of Chile and Argentina. Machis play significant roles in Mapuche religion. In contemporary Mapuche culture, women are very common machis than men. So they're more curanderas than curanderos. That's good. I like that. Okay, so we move on to yeah, this was called the Pishtaco. What the hell? Pishtaco. Origins Peru and Bolivia. A pale-skinned vampire slash boogeyman who roams the Andes and kills peasants in order to drain them of their body fats. Hold up. Okay, wait. The legend of the Pishtaco can basically plug directly into the real-life horrors experienced by indigenous communities of Peru and Bolivia during the colonization in the 15th century. Hold up. So this dude liposuction you? Like, it's free liposuction, right? Man, I mean, you know, you go to sleep fat, but then you wake up skinny? Dude, sign me up. I want to lose weight. Jesus Christ. Okay. The first written account of the creature comes from the priest Cristobal de Molina, a 16th century scholar in Inca culture, who chronicled a spreading native fear in Cusco. The Spaniards were going to kill them and drain them of their fat. Okay, hold up. You know what I mean? I don't want to die. I just want the fat to be rendered, please. Since then, the description of the creature has varied slightly from generation to generation, but as a rule, they tend to be versions of white men invaders. Okay. Alternately, depicting as a priest, doctors, aid workers, tourists, anthropologists, etc. They stand in for 5 centuries of foreign exploration, which, to be quite honest, is more terrifying than any myth on this list. Fans of the show Supernatural may remember the Pishtacos made an appearance as human with proboscis hidden in their mouth, used to suck the fat out of the victims, naturally. Except in the show, the Pishtacos are Latino characters, which kind of undercuts their whole white devil form deal. Shaking my head. Okay. Yes! I did see that episode of Supernatural, and let me tell y'all, I don't care if he's Latino or not, dude. If he can bring me down like 2 sizes, okay, 2 like jean sizes, yo, I'm good. Alright, I'm good. Because I remember the episode where they go to like the spa, right, and all of a sudden they go to work. Something about like aromatherapy, and then one of them said that, you know, like they're just doing it to help, but it's like helping and feeding them at the same time, so it's like a win-win situation. Listen. I would give full consent. I'll be like, yo, I know what's going on. I know the big deal. Just do what you gotta do. Gas me if you must, but please help me lose the weight. We continue with the list. We are going to be finishing the list. Alright? So, we continue with the list. And this one's called this is long. Masakuraman, Guyana. The country of origin. The Masakuraman, also spelled Masakuraman, same thing, is a massive hairy monster that lurks in the Guianas river and seas, preying on passengers in small boats and eating them. The Masakuraman is a kind of Jumbi, a mythical spirit or demon native to Caribbean folklore. Aside from being creepy as fuck, and one of many water residing beasts in Latin America folklore. It is also the namesake of Fate to Mind producer Masakuraman, aka Dan Kwam, whose fragmented and percussive club music pretty much resembles the monster himself. Who in the hell is that? I don't know who that is. Look him up. Wait. Come on. Is it him? Is this him? I don't know. Dan Kwam. Who in the Jesus is Dan Kwam? Dan Kwam. Who are you? Oh no. I don't know who that is. Top 10 profiles. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that is. There's a bunch of people coming out, but yes, he is a watery creature. The next one is called the Siguapa, but we already know about her or them. The other one is the Yukamama. Yakumama. Wow. And the country of origin is Peru, Ecuador, Argentina, reportedly. This mighty Amazon is home. The mighty Amazon is home to the legendary Yakumama, a honored snake-like sea monster believed to be the mother of all sea creatures. The Yakumama is part of the multiple indigenous groups, mythologies, primarily tribes hailing from the western Amazon in the lowlands of Peru and Ecuador. According to the various European colonizers' accounts from the 19th century, the Yakumama is rumored to be as long as 160 feet. Before entering unfamiliar bodies of water, indigenous tribes would blow a horn to warn the gigantic reptile of human presence, and probably so they wouldn't get attacked either. In Argentina, the Yakumama is also a goddess of water, but it takes the form of an elderly human woman that approaches kids who enter the river to collect water in their canteens. In sum, the Yakumama is basically an anaconda with horns. Now, I'm just imagining Samuel Jackson fighting off Yakumamas in a plane. Also, can get an indigenous rework of Nicki Minaj and Anaconda. Okay. So, yes, there we go. That was a whole list in this website called ramezcla.com with the Z. The title of this whole thing is Culture, 13 Terrifying, Spooky, and Awesome Latin American Horror Monsters and Legends. So there we go. We have read almost every Latin American legend. And by almost, I mean we probably haven't even scratched the surface. But we can only hope we did. So anyways, guys, that was interesting. You know what? Let's read one more scary story. All right, and this is a scary story because this one comes from the book itself, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And this was called The Window, or Window. It is not that long. So here we go. The Window is a scary story for kids. It's based on a tale called Groggling Grange, from the story of My Life by Augustus Hare. A version of the story appeared in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz. Many years ago, there was an old one-story house that stood at the top of a hill. The locals called it Groggling Grange, and 3 young people lived there, a girl and her 2 brothers. One hot summer night, they were all sitting out in the veranda, enjoying the cool air. They watched the sunset and the moon was rising over the trees. They decided to go to bed. A few hours later, the girl was lying in bed, unable to sleep with the heat. Unable to sleep with the heat, she was gazing out the window, watching the moon move across the sky, when something suddenly caught her eye. She saw 2 small lights moving through the woods near the graveyard at the bottom of the hill. They looked like eyes and some strange animal, but she couldn't make out what kind of animal it was. She She kept her eyes on the woods, and then something stepped out of the shadows. Something ghastly. It was coming up to the hill. It was coming up the hill towards the house. For a few minutes, she lost sight of it. Then she saw it coming across the lawn towards her window. It looked something like a man, and yet it didn't. As she watched it, the most uncomfortable horror seized her. She wanted to run from the room, but the door was right next to the window, and she was afraid the creature would see her. She wanted to scream, but her tongue felt like it was glued to the roof of her mouth. She rushed to the door, but before she could open the lock, she heard a scratch at the window. When she turned around, she saw a hideous, shrunken brown face with flaming eyes glaring at her. She tried to scream, but she was so frightened that she couldn't make a sound. The creature broke a pane of glass in the window, and then he reached with a long, bony finger, unlocking the window, and crawled inside. The girl tried to escape, but the creature caught her by the hair. It dragged her over the bed and pulled her head back and sank its teeth into her throat. She let out a blood-curdling scream and fainted. When her brothers heard her scream, they rushed to her room, but they couldn't get in because the door was locked. By the time they managed to break the door down, the creature was gone. Their sister was lying unconscious in bed, bleeding from the wound in her neck. While one of the brothers grabbed a towel and tried to stop the bleeding, the other took off after the creature and chased it down the hill. The thing fled through the moonlight, taking numerous strides, and soon he lost sight of it near a graveyard. The brother went back to the house to see if he could help his sister. The girl was scared and badly hurt, so they took her to the hospital where her wound was disinfected. The doctor put a bandage over her neck, and she had stayed in the hospital for a few days. Gradually, the wound began to heal, and the doctor said she was well enough to go home. The brothers reported the incident to the police, but they couldn't figure out what happened. They said it was probably a lunatic who escaped from the local asylum. The brothers didn't want the girl to come back home to the house and stayed in the same room, but she insisted. After all, she said, lunatics don't escape from asylums every day. But just in case, the brothers slept in the room across the hall and kept loaded pistols by the bedside table. The winter passed peacefully and happily, but one night, a couple of months later, the girl was awakened by a scratching noise in the window. When she opened her eyes, she saw the same hideous brown shrunken face staring at her. This time, she screamed as loud as she could. She screamed with all her might, and her brothers grabbed the pistols and came running. The creature took off, but the brothers chased it down the hill. One of them took aim and fired and shot it, hitting it in the leg. The creature fell over, but it got up and managed to limp over the graveyard wall. The brother watched as it scrambled over the wall and seemed to disappear into an old burial vault. The next day, the girl and her brother went down to the church and demanded the priest to open the burial vault inside. Inside, there was a horrifying scene. The coffins had been broken open, and bones, rotten flesh, and scattered all over the floor. Only one of the coffins had been left intact. When they opened it, there lay some hideous, withered and shriveled creature that had attacked the girl. When the priest examined the corpse, he found the bullet in his leg. They did the only thing they knew of to get rid of him. Wait, hold up. They did the only thing they knew of to rid themselves of a vampire. The priest built a roaring blaze outside the vault. When the brothers dragged it out, the shrunken body, and tossed it into flames, they watched the corpse burn until there was nothing left but ashes. I like this website because there are some comments, and this one's funny. Are you sure it wasn't Nosferatu? That's cool. But yes, that has been the window, and it's fairly creepy. It's fairly creepy. I mean, you have somebody staring out, like staring at you from the outside. What are you gonna do? You have to scream. So, you know, even if you're scared, scream. Pull out that whistle or something and just make noise. Someone is bound to hear, and hopefully that someone is the one to save you. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching, or actually listening, because this is a podcast and it's not much for the visuals but the audio. So thank you guys for listening to the After Dark podcast, season 2, episode 2, or episode 17, however you want to call it. So yesterday we didn't have a whatchamacallit, a horror movie to recommend, but tonight we will recommend. Okay, you know what? Okay, I got it. This one's kind of weird because I've seen it before, and it's recent, 2014. The movie, actually, you know what? Yeah, okay, go watch it. It's called The Babadook. I believe it's pretty much the same interpretation of the boogeyman, but The Babadook is actually a drama slash thriller, 2014 drama slash thriller that runs for an hour and 35 minutes. So we'll get to the details right now. It's directed by Jennifer Kent, produced by Christina Caton and Christian Moliere, screenplay by Jennifer Kent, and based on Monster by Jennifer Kent. Alright, so the runtime is 94 minutes, and the country is Australian. So it's English, so you guys don't have to read no subtitles. So The Babadook, go give it a shot. It's kind of scary. It has a really annoying kid in it, but you know, hey, it is what it is. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you were in the live stream, I really do appreciate you. If you are hearing this on the replay on YouTube, I do appreciate you. So thank you very much. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so. I'll leave, actually, it's already in the description. So thank you to YouTube for the content, for the creator section. I already have all the links down below. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so. We can chat, send pictures, send memes, because I like to laugh. Hey, that's the best way you guys can contact me, by the way. If you guys have any horror stories, scary stories, fables, folklore, urban legend, whatever it is that you guys want me to read on the podcast, just send them over to me with the hashtag #TheAfterDarkPodcast or hashtag TADP. Or once again, it's hashtag #TheAfterDarkPodcast or hashtag TADP, and I will read it, and I'll give full credit to whoever sends me over the story. Now, like I said, horror stories and fables don't have to be 20 pages long. It could be just 2 sentences that gets straight to the point. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's already in the description below. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram too, it's already in the description below as well. I am an artist. I do digital art, I do traditional art, and hopefully one day, soon, very soon, I'm talking about like really soon, I get to paint. So, but I normally post every Wednesday and Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. California time, but since it is October, I am partaking in the Inktober challenge, and I am drawing every day and posting every day on Instagram. So go check it out. 17 drawings are up, and all of them are traditional art. So but yeah, I mean, other than that, if you guys want to subscribe to the channel, please, do so. It really means a lot to me. all my subscribers mean so much to me. Also, today we played some Splatoon, so maybe next time we play, we live stream some Splatoon. You know, hopefully you guys can be there with me as well. So, hold up, gotta get my old thingy. And on that note, make sure to always bring a flashlight. Never walk alone on empty streets, and always double check your surroundings, because you may never know who or what can be lurking after dark. Peace out, everybody. Have a great and safe night.